Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about the Hazbin Hotel character of Abel and what I think could happen with him on season 3. The character of Abel completely stole our hearts since the very first frame, and without any exaggeration, I think he is the closest thing the Helliverse has to an actual cinnamon roll. And that alone should terrify us because we know that when a character is beloved in the Hazbin universe, he is being set up for catastrophic suffering. Poor Abel is practically begging to be destroyed by the Hazbin narrative, and there are a few clues in season 2 pointing towards that. Let's dive deep into it. The first clue that we have is Abel's core wound, his abandonment wound. The fact that Adam never fully accepted him the way that he is. Other characters in the show are constantly repeating how he was never Adam's favorite. He is ridden with anxiety and depression, and he's always making all these self-deprecating comments and shrinking into himself. Abel does not like who he is. He is convinced that everything he does is completely useless, that his soft approach and his kindness is ineffective, even harmful in the whole heaven and hell conflict. The narrative repeatedly spotlights this trait, which means that it's not just decoration, it's a clue. The first clue, the gift basket. Remember when he proposed to make this gift basket with taffies for hell in order to resolve their conflicts? Well, his first attempt at helping fails miserably. His sweet, disarming gift basket doesn't just flop, it reinforces his deepest fear. Good intentions don't work. Kindness accomplishes nothing. His way of doing things simply fails. This foundation sets things up for a darker turn in his character arc in Hazbin Hotel. Second hint, his solo. In the final scenes, when Lute comes back and starts fighting Baggy, Abel has this amazing nostalgic Fall Out Boy solo that we all adore and are obsessed with, and it's living rent-free in our minds. But if you pay attention to the lyrics, he says something very important, and he says it twice. Things would be better if I were anybody else. Now, let's dive deep into those lines and what they mean. Part of Abel's character arc is discovering that if only he becomes someone else, things can automatically be solved. And unfortunately, as sad as this theory is, his fears are confirmed, because when he's himself, when he's kind, when he comes with a taffy and a gift basket, things fail. But the second that he lets his dad's persona take over him and he starts enforcing brute force, Lute immediately turns around and obeys. Abel receives direct evidence that force and toughness yield more results than kindness, and that's a dangerous discovery for someone like him to make. Now that we've understood the way that he has been set up, I have 3 different theories of 3 different paths that his character could take in season 3, and all of them would be kind of scary. So the first one is that Abel slowly becomes Adam. Abel can learn that the use of brute force can actually help him protect others, because he still has a good heart. He still wants to help. It's just that the way that he discovers that works is not great. He starts embodying Adam's ruthlessness. He wouldn't necessarily want to become his father, but trauma often pushes characters like him to make decisions that lead them to become the very people that hurt them. The second path that I think he could possibly take is terrifying, and it is if Luke decides to groom him into becoming Adam, if she starts manipulating and exploiting that little rush of power that he had in season 2. This version is actually terrifying, and it's also quite likely, because she has a clear attachment to Adam, and she wants him back in whichever way that she can have him. So she sees a soft boy that she can mold and she can shape, a grieving angel desperate to have her lover back. That is the perfect storm for grooming. And Abel proved to us that he is capable of switching personas under pressure. She could absolutely convince him to leave his softness behind and adopt this new persona for the greater good. Now, the third alternative is the one that I think is the most juicy because it leads to more plot points. And it's if Abel starts initially adopting Adam's persona and he starts power tripping and becoming this ruthless leader, but someone good, someone like Charlie or Emily, stops him, makes him realize the error in his ways, and he finally accepts his soft ways and his true personality the way that it is, and that pisses Lute off. And what would she do? Oh, she would pull a Hail Mary. Perhaps she would go find Cain, Adam's other son, who probably has equal rights to enforce his power, and she would bring him into the plot, desperate to try to make her agenda work. Wouldn't that be scary? Now, why do I think that the Cain theory is probably kind of what's going to happen in season 3? Well, we have seen previously in the Helliverse that Viv loves doing parallels. She loves having mirroring characters. She has Charlie and she has Emily. She has Vox and she has Alastor. Now, she has said that season 3 is going to be all about the Morningstar family. The Morningstar family needs a mirror, and who better to mirror it than Adam's family, which consists of Adam, Eve, Abel, and Cain, as far as we can speculate. The family of the first humans, the first dysfunctional family in biblical canon. This would be really juicy to get that plot moving. Possibly, it could go deeper into the characters of Eve and Cain, who we actually don't really know a lot about. My final thoughts is that Abel, or Cinnamon Roll, he's a ticking time bomb. There is too much psychological setup in his character to leave it alone and not imploded. I think everything is quite intentional and deliberate, and whether he collapses into his father's persona, or gets manipulated by loot, or barely escapes a horrible corruption arc, something is going to happen, something big. And honestly, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for Patrick Stump to drop another completely heart-wrenching solo. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to check out my Alastor character arc theory video too.